Hi Sagittarius, welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to look at March for you guys. You can use this for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node. Since my emphasis is soul development, the North Node is always pretty bang on, generally. But I do read whatever comes through. These are general, so take what resonates, leave what does not. And we'll get started. I did a Celtic cross spread for you guys using the Thoth deck, plus a Threads of Fate Oracle as your catalyst energy. Your catalyst energy is going to keep you in the highest vibration possible, so if you get lost in your process or you get into a spiral, you can kind of lean on the catalyst energy to take you back into alignment. And we're going to start there. So I pulled the Weaver for your catalyst card. I honestly think I've never pulled this before in terms of, using this deck ever. So this is fun. I instantly think of just like orb weaver spider webs, like it's just like so intricate, or I just think of like, the threads that weave the fabric of reality together is kind of what comes to me when I think about this energy. It looks like you guys have the threads and you're weaving now. So it's like you've gathered all your materials, you have the big picture, you know what you're doing, you have a vague sense of where you're going, you have all the energy available to you, and you just kind of need to tie up the loose ends and thread it all together and turn it into a masterpiece. So yeah, you have all the materials, you have the threads, you just need to sew it together, and that's what the month is kind of bringing into the mix for you, is allowing you to begin to sew it together, to craft your maybe your own energy, to craft your field in the way that you want to present yourself, to become yourself, or to just craft the path forward. Where are you going? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? What's the vision? What's the dream? What's the goal? That's resonating more. It looks like you're crafting the dream. You're crafting the dream this month. Beautiful. Moving into the Celtic cross spread. So at your center, we have the Ten of Swords. I feel like you guys have really gone through a lot recently. I'm getting a particular hit on like the throat, even kind of up into the third eye. Maybe like coming out of a cycle where you feel like you couldn't express yourself fully, or I just keep feeling like this hand was like clamped over your mouth, and it doesn't feel like it's there anymore. It feels like there's residual healing that needs to happen. So I don't know, take care of your throat this month. Peppermint tea, eucalyptus, anything that's going to kind of open up that space for you, will be good. If you're struggling with, Ten of Swords is also kind of a health warning, so if you're struggling with a cough or something, I would maybe take care of it. If you're having any kind of throat issues, I would go to the doctor and see what's up. It could just be you, most likely, it could just be like your body purging, residual old patterns that you've already kind of cleared out of your field. And so, you may be struggling with like a lingering cough, or something's going on with the throat for some of you, whether energetically or physically. So really make sure that you go to the doctor if you feel like you have a concern. Otherwise, do whatever you need to do to bring that chakra back into balance. So yeah, again, eucalyptus, mint kind of deal would be good herbal medicine. But just remember that this is over. Whatever you go through this month is kind of the last gasp, which, can be hard because it's exhausting. And, once you get to the 10, you're like, I'm done. Whatever this pattern is, like, I'm so done with it, and here it still is bothering me, right? So just remember that you're still on the way out. You just got to clear out the rest of it. I know that, like, in terms of, like, your spirit and your mind, you're kind of already on the next path. You're on higher things, and you don't want these kind of things in your past pulling you back. But just remember that you're near the end. You just got to wrap up that old cycle, and you'll be off to the races. The Weaver came out direct, so it's happening now. You're crafting your dream. So trust that, and know that this is residual energy. It's going to go away, okay? Crossing that, we have the Five of Pentacles. Certainly a lot of anxiety, but it doesn't feel very head heavy. So I don't know. I don't think mind wise you're scrambling or looping or cycling too much. It feels more like anxiety that's kind of centered in the heart or the throat again. Maybe some solar plexus stuff, even into the stomach. So it's your body's anxiety. Looks like yeah, it looks like it's your body's anxiety, which means it's connected to the Ten of Swords. You're changing. You are setting off on the new dream. You're weaving your threads together. You're a new you, Sagittarius. So just the parts of you that aren't there, any part of your body that is like holding on to older energies or patterns is just freaking out because it doesn't feel safe for those parts of you, those older patterns and parts of you. So just remember that the anxiety that you feel, I think it's going to be very somatic. It is not a measure of like what's really going on in your physical material world, because you're in a good place. And so you know that, I'm just reminding you. Make sure that your movement work would be great too, like dancing or yoga or any other kind of physical practice that just allows you to kind of release this old energy through your body somatically, because it's not going up into your mind. I don't think you even really need to fully understand it, especially because you've already been through the cycles and the processing, and this is old and you already know what it is, and it really just feels like you're tired of it. And so, you know, even ritual work or something that kind of gets this moving out of you, removes any blocks or stagnation that is still holding, so that you can really release yourself from the old way and move on, is going to be key. And you're so ready for it that I think you're just gonna do it because you're done. You're just done. You're ready to let it go, which is great. The past affecting the present. We have the Magus. I really feel like this is a resource for you this month. And I feel like it goes really far back. Like you're kind of asking yourself, you know, who was I before anybody told me who I was, you know, really, really little. What was the dream, the vision, the goal before anybody told me it was impossible? And so, yeah, you can really rely on that. Rely on that person, that really, really young, youthful person, that baby, that toddler, that small child that just, you know, came into this world and saw a universe of possibility. That's who you're trying to become again. You're really just coming back to yourself this month. You're coming back to the Weaver. You're coming back to the Magus energy. And you're saying, no, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do. Whoever I decide to be, that's who I am, and fuck anybody who says otherwise. Okay, so that's something that you can rely on this month. Past is supporting you. In your foundation, Seven of Wands. Just remember you're stronger than you think you are. Remember, you're farther along the path than you think you are. Like you're more developed, you have more mastery, you have more knowledge and wisdom than you're giving yourself credit for. This being in your foundation means this is what you can rely on. You know, if you have a moment this month, a spiral, if you have a moment where you get lost in the process and you don't know where you are, what you can return to is just these reminders. I'm stronger than I think I am. I've been through worse before. This is an opportunity for me. I'm wiser than I think I am. I know more than I think I am. I can be this authority for myself. I can do this, right? And that's gonna help keep you grounded and stable. Yeah, just a good reminder. Crowning you this month, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So 2 sevens, 77. Look up that angel number card. I don't do numbers, but you can look that up. Seven of Pentacles in your crowning position. It's okay to walk away from something that isn't inspiring you anymore. Especially in this culture, this culture which has a very problematic linear way of thinking about success and progress. And it's problematic because that's not how success and progress works. Things are a spiral. Many things are unseen. Much success and progress is unseen. And just because you started something and grew it from seed and cultivated it, doesn't mean that you have to stick with it. I mean, you know, I know that Sagittarius can struggle with that, and so people tend to tell them, like, make sure you're sticking with it, make sure you're sticking with it, make sure you're sticking with it, because there is a tendency to abandon projects with any mutable sign. However, don't get too identified with that. I think that can really hold Sagittarius back, you know, buying into this cultural story of, like, you know, being told, probably since, you know, childhood and into adulthood, that maybe you're irresponsible, maybe you don't stick things through, maybe you're undisciplined, you know, all of these things. And, you know, Sagittarius, all of that is a choice. I mean, on the positive, you're always up for adventure. You're always down to clown, to relax, to party, to have fun with other people. You're very optimistic. you're an adventurer, and you're also very, very passionate. And so when you are committed to something that you're passionate about, I don't think anything can stop you. I think you will stick it out to the end. And, because Sagittarius tends to shirk authority early, it just doesn't work for you. Having somebody, monitoring you and managing you does not work for you. So I feel, due to the cultural system that we have in place, I think, young Sagittarians in school, I don't think it works very well often, because you end up feeling really, really restricted. It kills your passion. And then, of course, you're showing up undisciplined because you're being asked to do all these things and you're asking yourself, what's the point? Why am I doing this? What's this expectation? Why do these people have control of me, right? And so as you enter adulthood, Sagittarius, and you get to walk away from that kind of authority that may feel very, very oppressive to you, you get to make your own choices. And you can continue to perpetuate the story that you're undisciplined, that you don't follow through, that you're irresponsible, all these things, or you can just say, no, I am disciplined, I am responsible, I will follow through on the things that matter to me, okay? And so that's what you're thinking about. And crowning you is, if there are any things in your life, careers, projects, even relationships, house, whatever, that you have stuck through for a long time and it just feels like you're stalling out, stagnating, it feels like things are overgrowing in a way that's out of balance, you can just let it go. You can just cut your losses and start something new. It doesn't matter. Just walk away. Maybe you just learned all the lessons you needed to learn from that, and that's why you're not feeling inspired now. Or maybe this was never even your dream in the first place. Maybe you're just living somebody else's expectation and you just need to walk away. Okay, so that's okay. So give yourself permission to do that. New circumstance this month, we have the 8 of Swords. So yeah, this really, what I'm getting dropped in is just being in your own way. And of course we come by that honestly, the things that we're told in childhood and adolescence affect the way that we perceive ourselves or what we're capable of. And that's the theme that keeps cropping up here, is you're stronger than you think you are, you're more disciplined than you think you are, you just need to run your own show and go towards what you're really passionate about, and everything's gonna work out, right? And so here I think it's just, clearing work to do. What's in your way? What limiting beliefs do you have about yourself? What limiting beliefs do you have about what's possible in terms of the things that you want to do, the goals you want to chase? What are the self-restrictions that you have in place that need to be dismantled, so that you can free yourself and move on? And so that's what's available to you here, just dismantling, clearing, getting rid of ideas and mindsets and patterns that don't serve you anymore. Your ego this month, Devil reversed. Man, Leo got this and Scorpio got this as well. Okay, the Devil reversed. Yeah, this is freeing yourself from restriction. And so this is saying you may run into a new set of, oh, these are the things that are blocking me. I didn't see them before. I see them very clearly now. So that's what the new circumstance is. Oh, I am seeing new self-limitations, new restrictions I placed on myself, etc. And so now that you can see it for what it is through this clearer lens, you can address it. And so the Devil is saying that you're absolutely 100% prepared to address it. The Devil in the reverse is saying, I'm freeing myself. I'm freeing myself. It doesn't seem like it's gonna take a long time either. If you can hear that noise in the background, that is my rabbit chewing. I can't stop that from happening. So there you go. Back to what I was saying. Okay, so a nice thing about the Weaver here in terms of this card and the 8 of Swords, these 3 here, not only do you have the threads that you need to weave your dreams and visions, but you can also pull away some of the threads. Like, you can strip away threads that are no longer working. It's kind of like, if you have this quilt in front of you, it's like, fuck that, this is my quilt. Who sewed these lines in? I don't want them, right? And so now you're just kind of dismantling all the threads, removing all the threads that you don't like, replacing them with the threads that you do, and weaving your own future, weaving your own fabric. And so the Weaver goes both ways. You can pull threads out and you can sew threads in. Yeah, it's like, it's your canvas, and it's not like you're starting from square one. You just have to remove the things that don't work for you. And replenish yourself. And so I love the fact that the 8 of Swords is here, but the Devil is also here, and that the Devil is in reverse in your ego. Because this is your energy. You are showing up to task. You are saying, I am done. I'm clearing away all these restrictions. They are not going to affect my future. And so that's where you're at. Freeing yourself. Liberation. Environment. 8 of Cups. Nine of Cups. It looks like the environment is really supporting you this month. Maybe you've had a recent change, whether you've moved, whether you've, moved in with a partner, whether you've had a change of job that feels really, really nice, or maybe you just, done spring cleaning or rearrangement in your home, so you set your environment up to feel better. It looks like you're just feeling so good where you're at right now, and that's supporting everything else that you're doing. The people in your life are supportive. Your environment, your home life seems supportive for the most part. Also, with the Nine of Cups, opportunities can come in, specifically things that you did desire. And so, keep in mind that yes, while this is kind of a month to think about what you want, to remove your restrictions, to kind of thread your fate together and figure out how exactly you want to move forward and coming into your goals. So it's more of a planning month than a clearing month. While that is true, the Nine of Cups here is kind of saying, you do have the opportunity here to receive manifestations that you've kind of already seeded, or to receive desires that you've already asked the universe for. And so I like to think of this as kind of like this sign that you're on the right track because you're being given concrete breadcrumbs. And so it's like, if you want to, if your dream's to write a book, maybe, you wrote an article online and this month you receive feedback from somebody who really liked it. You know what I mean? It's not the big dream. It's not like you publish the book, but it's like the support, the signal, the sign from the universe that says, hey, you're good at this, keep doing it, you're on the right track, look, somebody's noticing you, or just something along those lines. You're saving up for a car, maybe you don't get the car, but maybe you get an increase in pay, and it's like, oh, I can put more of this money towards the car now. It's like things like that. Like things are going to trickle in that are saying you're on the right track. They're going to be concrete. They're going to be something you can like really sink into. So just be open to receiving. Be open to receiving, and you will. Hopes and fears this month. Page of Prince of Discs, which is basically the Knight of Pentacles. It's in the reverse. So you're going to have to put in work, Sagittarius. And again, I'm kind of getting this call to the Seven of Pentacles. I think there's a fear of, am I just going to start something new again to end up abandoning the project again? Is this what I really want? So just remind yourself you can take your time. You can take your time to really discover what you want. You don't have to forge ahead too quickly. The other thing is just like, do I have what it takes? If you really do know what you want, you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to be slow and deliberate. You're going to have to, instead of like, not that you can't shoot your arrow, but, Prince of Disc is about slow, steady progress. So it's, instead of like kind of shooting forward and then burning out, it's asking you, can you be more consistent with your energy? Which would be really supportive for you in terms of like really physically manifesting the things that you want. But it's important that, to remember that things take time, and, motivation doesn't always show up every day. Motivation is an emotion. It comes and goes. Discipline is what shows up every day. And so what I learned early on, at some point in my life, post-adolescence, early adulthood, I think college, when I was in college, I didn't do great in high school. I hit a point actually in middle school, because I was a very good student up until then, where, my depression got the best of me, my anxiety got the best of me. I had terrible insomnia, and I was still trying to be that exact same good student that I always was. And I actually had a conversation with myself at about 13, where I was like, okay, I have two choices. I can continue to be super, super anxious about this and do it all, and be so anxious I can't even like deal with myself and just stay there, or I can just decide not to care. And I decided not to care, and my grades suffered for it. And then I kind of lost all threads of like, I didn't know how to be disciplined. I didn't know how to show up every day. I didn't know how to care. I didn't care, and so then in college, when I chose to care again, I had to relearn how to be disciplined, right? And I learned then at that point, I was like, oh, motivation's not going to show up every day, but discipline does. Discipline carries itself if you cultivate it. So I think this is an invitation to really cultivate that discipline that people have told you throughout your life maybe that you don't have. And it's not that you don't have it because you can't, it's that you were never really probably given the opportunity to cultivate discipline because you've never had to do it for yourself. It was always for somebody else's show, right? Most likely, being given the rules and then asking why am I following them and receiving no answer, things just feeling pointless. And so now you have an opportunity to cultivate discipline for yourself, for the things that you want. And the beautiful thing about discipline is once it is cultivated, it always shows up. And so I think this is the hope and the fear. The hope is that you need to cultivate the discipline that you're maybe missing. The fear is that you can't, or the fear is that it's just not going to be fun. Like, I think some of you are just like, this is going to be a real drag. And I want to push back on that because it's just something that's so supportive and grounding. Discipline is something that's so supportive and grounding that it's really not a drag as long as you are honoring your threshold. It can be a real drag if you're pushing yourself beyond where you can go, and I'm a Capricorn, I know all about that. But discipline's not a drag if you set the proper boundaries. When do you start working? When do you stop? When do you get to dick around, Discipline does not mean that the fun stops. It does not mean that the ride's over, you know what I mean? It just means that you are setting yourself up to support yourself in a good and sustainable way. And you're doing it in order to achieve the dream, the goal, the passion, the thing that you really want to do in this life. So, don't fear it. Don't fear it. It's going to support you, and you're still going to be able to have fun. And maybe you'll even have a blast with the discipline because what you're doing is something that you want to do. And so being able to show up every single day, is what's going to set you free. Discipline is not actually restrictive by nature. It is what sets us free when we're doing it right. So just keep that in mind too, as well. Outcome this month, we have the Ten of Cups. This is just like the cup runneth over energy. You're going to have so much happiness at the end of the month. You're really going to find what you're looking for. Not to say that, the journey's over, but it looks like you're going to wrap up a cycle. You're going to clear out all this old shit, the Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacles energy that you may be starting the month with. By the end, that's gone. You've had a mindset shift in terms of, what you want to do moving forward, what's not going to restrict you anymore, and what is actually going to be supportive rather than restrictive, like the cultivation of discipline. We have the Nine of Ten, which is a really good natural progression. Cups rule emotion as well, so it's like you just getting happier and happier as the month moves on. And, I think you're already feeling like you're in a good place because you're removing all these restrictions by the time you get to this Nine of Cups energy, which is going to be the little nuggets and breadcrumbs and threads of gold that say, hey, you're on the right track. And that's going to make you feel even happier. You're going to want to, keep going, push forward. I think you are going to feel quite motivated this month. And then by the end, it's like, I just feel this deep sense of fulfillment. And what I like about this fulfillment is it's independent of whatever it is that you have accomplished or are accomplished or want to accomplish. And what that does is, instead of creating this relationship that you have with your destiny where things just feel, where it feels like you're beholden to your destiny in a restrictive way, which ends up, generating a lot of shame and guilt stories because it tends to just like run this I'm not good enough thing. I'm not doing enough. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. It's never going to work out for me. I think a lot of those stories are kind of dissipating and turning into this inner sense of fulfillment of like, I do have what it takes. And when you really feel like you have what it takes, like you are enough, that you are everything that you wish that you could be and that you already have it, it takes the pressure off, which makes it easier to achieve because it's not like you're relying on it for a sense of fulfillment. You're already fulfilled and you're approaching everything that you do from that place. And so that's the invitation. Can you reach this place of inner fulfillment so that everything you do outside of that is just creation, is just magic, is just magnificence, is just adventure, right? And so, yeah, great month. Great month. Really ends on such a high note. A lot of movement this month, a lot of dismantling and a lot of creation, a lot of mindset shifts, and a lot of just growth in the right direction. So I think you're just going to feel so much better from here on out once you get past the little spiral moments at the very beginning. And yeah, this is just such a glow up. Like the redemption arc of this spread is just insane. So I'm proud of you guys. I hope you have a really great month. If you would like to schedule something private with me so we can discuss how these energies are playing out in your life, we can do so. We can talk about the discipline, what you need to do to set yourself up in a good way. We can talk about how to get rid of these old energies that are kind of still lingering. We can talk about the dream. What is it? What clarity do you need on it, and how do you want to weave it? What's available to you? We can talk about all that. So if you'd like to do that, do so in the box below. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see the next Sagittarius video, and I will see you guys in April. Good luck, have fun, I love you, you got this.